council meeting, show all are present. We'll go ahead and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we thank you for this day and for this meeting, Lord, and we ask that you give us wisdom and knowledge, Lord, of how to conduct ourselves through this meeting, Lord, and how we allocate money, Lord. We ask that you be with us and guide us. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, bear with me if I start hollering too loud or I don't talk loud enough. I got a ringing in my ear this morning I can't get rid of. I just want to thank everybody for the sympathy. My grandmother, Oprah Hardin, passed away a couple weeks ago, and I had an outpouring of lovely messages and lots of love and flowers, and I just want to thank everybody for that. And does anybody have any old business they'd like to bring before us? We won't do anything on it today, but we can talk about it. Seeing none, we'll go right on. Anybody have anything to say first? Anybody have any business? No? All right, go straight into Teresa. (911) radios.
I'm just here to ask for an answer. Michael Dyer with PCS pushed the price and project back till today's date. He was gracious enough to do that. As you know, April 1st, there was another price increase, and there's probably another one coming sometime down the road. I asked, he couldn't give me an exact time frame on that, but I need to let him know something today, preferably.
Did the commissioners get with the fire departments and see what they wanted to do?
I think they did speak to some of them, but I don't know what the consensus.
Do you know what they?
The last chiefs meeting they had, I was told that they were supposed to get a letter, I thought by today, to this board, that the fire chiefs were supporting the simulcast system.
Which is the one? Which one?
The one that I proposed.
Okay.
Pretty successful, for the low band.
Layman's terms.
Yeah, they were supposed to, Jim Ritchie was supposed to draft that letter and have all the chiefs sign it. I thought they were gonna have that ready for your meeting today.
I think Nick wants to say something.
Does anybody know if the commissioners reached out to Austin Mayor and Scottsburg Mayor, since this is something that we would basically be funding for the whole county? Has anybody reached out to those mayors?
Well, I thought we were gonna get a meeting together back
To
with
see if they would like
the
to
fire
help.
departments and all of them to see if we went with the 800, what our funding sources would be and how we were gonna go about it, but it doesn't matter anymore.
I can't move on it until.
Oh, Nick, sorry.
I just, for what it's worth, I was part of the fire chiefs meeting. It was myself and Scottsburg, Vienna, Johnson, Finley, Jennings, and Lexington. And Jeff is correct, the letter was supposed to be written by one of the fire chiefs. That was kind of unanimously decided. It's one of the 800 would be outstanding. It's just the cost of everything and the timeline of everything is why we shifted towards the other one. And then for functionality, just to confirm what he said.
Do you know who's supposed to receive this letter?
I do not. I don't know if it was supposed to go to the commissioner and the council, but it was just going to be one of those letters that all department heads that use radios kind of are all on the same page.
Has anyone heard from Mike? Did they receive a letter? Did anybody
I have
know?
no idea.
And you have to know today?
He gave us till, I asked him to push it back till today's date. I know this, last week they started installing this system over in Harrison County. Earlier this week or last week. Another county signed on for this system. So they are getting really good. Harrison County's putting up 7 sites, and they started doing that last week.
People need to do their job.
Do you know who was supposed to write the letter? Which was it?
My understanding was James Richard was supposed to write the letter, and then have all the other representatives sign it.
Huh?
I wasn't, myself and
And
Mike.
it's not our fault that they're dragging their feet,
Because
so
of our law.
I can't support it.
Well, John Listenby was just outside when I came in. You want me to go see if he's still around?
If they wanted it passed, they should be here. They should be asking.
Yeah,
Okay.
we keep going through this with things not coming to us, everything's hearsay, and I struggle with that.
I just texted James and asked him if he was, got a letter together, if he did, where to go. At least we can have that.
We want to table it down further down the meeting
Hang out.
until we get an answer.
Yeah, I just
That's
texted
fine.
John
I've got-
and asked him to come in.
I'm supposed to be in Harrison County at 10 o'clock, so I'm gonna cut. But discuss it later, somebody.
Don't have to, we can't ask them.
No, shouldn't affect on
Chief Ritchie has the letter, and he's on his way. For what
it.
that's worth.
Yeah. I think they moved it down a little bit, so
Well, I mean, if it's, do I have a motion to, what's the price now? Still the same, $430?
Still the same, it's 530, I wanna say 784 or something.
About, yeah, it was a little over 500,000. But y'all didn't act on it last time, so you didn't table it to move it forward. So it needs to be advertised again, just so you're aware.
oh,
Y'all
I thought we
decided,
advertised it for this meeting.
it was advertised for the last meeting. And council, you didn't table it.
Okay, let's go down to clerk election pay.
And this is a, council approved that on the last election. That's gonna be your printout that looks like this. And you approved to increase that amount for the poll workers and the election workers. And it was not in the budget that was proposed for last year. So for us to pay the election workers that just work the primaries, we need for you to approve what I've written down here on the salary ordinance so that we can pay them at the next commissioners meeting. That's to keep them at the last election total that you paid. General fund and QCAP development,
Why-
there's 2 budgets.
Why did we keep it at that this time? Last time there was COVID and we were trying to get people to,
Just because they're having trouble finding people.
Rachel, I can attest that it's becoming almost impossible to get people to
I don't know.
work them and justify people taking off work with, $125 per day, so it is getting increasingly more difficult.
move to approve. I'll second it.
Donnie's add motion, Donnie's second, all in favor?
I'm in favor, but how much?
It's
I'm
right
in
here.
favor, but how much?
It's right here. You mean total? You mean total, or?
It's a service we already owe. I'm okay, but
All right, highway department. Are we gonna take this in 2?
Yes, first one up is the mechanic position.
We have 2 operator positions open right now, so we're gonna move one of the operator positions to another mechanic position. But use some of the pay out of the other operator position to to get it up to mechanic pay and just hold that money for overtime and set it now on the other operator position. So I wouldn't say necessarily do away with it, but just put it on hold for now. And get down to mechanic position.
Commissioners approved that, didn't they? At the last meeting.
Technically no cost. I mean,
Yeah, there's no cost. It takes me down one guy, but I would say that is the hardest budgeting part in the highway department is the mechanical end of things. So you can't control what goes out, what tears up. So anything to help try to drive that down a little bit is the direction I think we need to go right now.
How is taking one guy off gonna affect your overtime even with this additional? I mean, do you still anticipate being within budget for your overtime?
Yeah, we'll be fine. You know, with our comp time and such, it'll probably help that we can pay out a little bit more and keep the comp time rolled down. Kind of want to play that out for the rest of the year to see the way it goes in the next budget time. We can look, you know, see if we can adjust it, get that position back on, or leave it be.
I mean, having two mechanics is not a lot. I mean, that's,
It's not. I thought we could get by with just the one, but I think we can get another one that, you know, everybody does a little bit of everything. So if it's a mechanic, some other abilities works out.
Would it be a problem for you if we just wait till budget time when we discuss salary ordinance and budget items, for us to discuss this at budget time, or is this something we need to address now?
The only problem would be I basically have two operator positions open, so I'm 2 employees down. So why I like to do this now, that gets another guy in the door and gets them moving on different equipment that we need.
So this would be a new hire?
Yes, it would be a new
New
hire.
hire.
With the little post that people apply for.
It's to fill a vacancy, not a new hire, not a new position?
It's to fill a vacancy, but they're gonna go from operator to mechanic.
Well, but we're not increasing the workforce.
No.
Okay.
Well, you don't have to advertise it if you go within, do you?
For 5 days.
You do?
I do.
Don't make.
Money's already in the
Makes sense.
budget.
But,
Yeah.
Can do.
Uh,
Can do.
So do we wanna amend that line then?
You really don't need to
Or can you
do
just
the
move
line,
it?
but you just approve that he drops an operator position and adds a mechanic position. And then we'll adjust the money in the budget.
Okay.
And it's not by much. He doesn't need much for that other position, or for the other mechanic position.
so just to be clear, we're gonna hire a new person,
Yes.
but we would hire a new person anyway
yes,
if he was gonna be an operator.
yes.
So either way, we're gonna hire somebody.
Yeah, somebody's gonna get hired, or somebody in-house, we decide to be the position, then we would hire another operator.
Okay.
And they take the mechanic position, but either way, there'll be somebody hired.
Okay, but, okay,
But
So-
the money's already budgeted.
that's
so-
correct, yeah. I just-
All right, so do I have a motion to drop an operator spot and add a mechanic position? Use the money budgeted for that.
Make a motion.
Lindy motion,
I'll second.
Diane second, all in favor? 7-0. All right, next, auction proceeds, additional appropriation.
So, and our auction proceeds
10.
will be roughly 150, a little under. So right now, what we appropriate, 4,000.
What's in the fund right now is 104,107.40. So I advertise 104,107 to be appropriated.
So what we're proposing on that is a 50 by 125 whole building. Half of it will be simply storage for cinders and salt. The other half will be actually heated storage and have a wash bay in it. I guess, so some problems that we had this winter that I got to see when the trucks freeze up. We bring them into the shop, there's no drains in the floor, it floods the whole building. Pretty well a mess. We got roughly $2 million in fleet inventory, and we got a water hose to wash it off. Pretty much what we're down to at this point. Felt like it'd be a good investment for the county. And the money's coming from basic scrap metal.
Coming from where?
The auction proceed, so basically scrap equipment.
Is that gonna cover the cost of the building, or are you gonna get more money?
So, for us to fall under the guidelines of Homeland Security, which I think I'm about 99% sure we're going to, I'm gonna work on that to see if we can get a variance. I don't think we can, but in other words, that just makes things more expensive. So, you and I both hold on, it's not gonna be like pole barn building. So if we approve it, I'll have to send off the plan, so I can't dial in exact dollars right there, We are gonna do some in-house, it's not gonna be a real rush project, we'll do some in-house work, knock the cost down, tremendously. But, I don't think we'll come in at 104, I think we'll be a little over that, but we'll have some more money to appropriate a little money.
So you're thinking it'll cover the vast majority of it?
It'll cover it, yes, definitely.
Okay.
Is there any way that we can hold off on this and you get a more solid idea of what, if we're gonna qualify, or?
So,
I don't wanna appropriate this money and then all of a sudden you're gonna come back and need another 100,000 is what I'm.
right, so basically, I can get blueprint draft done for $300 if you and I was gonna build that building in our house. It's $11,000 to build that county highway, because it's commercial, so. We'll get it to come in at tomorrow. I got 25 years in this trade, I know where we're gonna be at. But I can't tell you dead on until I see what Homeland Security says is required of us. I just can't, because I can't see it. It'll have to be drawn by an engineer, and that's why it's not. It's unfortunate that it would cost us that much to build that kind of building, and get a plan to build that kind of building. But that's just where we're in.
So we can't take word, because the word that we took last time got us in a hill of beans, so did the commissioners,
They approved it, didn't they?
without a total?
So what,
Can we, I'm sorry, Erica.
go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, is there any way that we can, appropriate or approve a portion of this to see what it's
We
gonna
could
come back
approve-
on, because.
We could approve maybe, say $12,000 to get the engineering fees done, and then I can come back with true,
I would
really good
rather,
numbers. I wouldn't be a problem with that. Just as long as we're on the same page. I don't wanna spend the $12,000 to get the design done, and then, I wanna do the building.
but
you
we
know
don't,
where I'm
but
at?
we don't, but we don't wanna.
But I know what you're saying, you wanna
appropriate
make sure our
104.
numbers come in. I get that.
Yeah, so we're 104 compared to 12,000, I mean, I would feel more comfortable going that route to begin with, and then see where we're at.
That would be, I think that would work fine.
Is this, I didn't read it close enough, but is this particular motion to make a line to put this in, or?
Yes, it's to appropriate it into a budget for expenditure.
So he'd still have to come in, he'd still have to come back and say, I need another 50,000.
Yeah, if you only approve 12 today,
Yeah,
then later on when you get your plans, I would have to advertise what's left in the fund for appropriation.
well, I'm trying to get to the, make it easy on everybody and still go along with what you want to do. If we go ahead and put the money in there, he'll still have to come in and ask us for the money.
If we put it into expenditure, then no. He'll use it as,
Use it at his leisure.
If you
So
put
we
it
just put
to
in
appropriate
whatever
it.
he needs
If we
currently for the
appropriate it into
engineers.
his budget, then it'll be his to spend on the building.
Are you pretty confident with the amount for the engineers and
I do have an estimate on that.
on that? Okay.
I'd go either way on anybody, whatever.
Well, we can just
Whatever you
approve
guys
the
say.
amount that he's showing. If it goes over that, then in the motion,
Yeah,
we can approve that. And if it goes over, then it's not approved.
yeah, I'm okay.
We're working with Zach to see what exactly I can do legally as far as being like the general contractor on it. So, you know, that's gonna depend on how the money that it drives, you know, on it too, because we
So
can't
there's a
show
lot of
that.
variables.
There's a lot of variables in it. We can't show that we're trying to escape under a mark by doing it, where we gotta show that we're doing it, to keep the price down, but not that we're trying to escape under a number, I guess.
All right, do I have a motion?
How much to approve the 12, or the 12,000 for the plans and then come back and,
I think that's fine. Because we're-
Do I have a second? Lindy motioned to appropriate the 12,000 to start the plans, and then Kevin can come back. Do I have a second? I'll second. All in favor?
Where's it coming from?
it's
From
this
their auction
process.
money,
It's auction.
And it's going to,
the highway department.
uh, building fund, highway department, what?
It'll be expended from that fund. There's a separate fund set up for the proceeds, for the auction money.
Okay.
It's got its
All
own
right.
line item.
Okay, I'm with you. I vote aye.
All right,
Just
all in
one.
favor? Nay?
Yeah, I'd go along.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'd rather go give them all the money, but I'll do that, that's fine.
Yeah. I just-
All right, 7-0.
You know how I have money.
What was it, 12? Or what? What was it, 12,000
Well,
even?
that covers it.
All right, do we have anything else with the highway department?
No.
You good?
Good.
Thanks, sir. Building superintendent, line item creation transfer.
Do you wanna do, James Rich is here.
Yeah, you can.
Yep.
James, we were talking about the radios, and they said that you guys had a meeting.
We do.
You guys came to,
Yeah, I appreciate you guys holding this off. 23 years, I've yet to master the art of scheduling emergencies, so it's a struggle this morning. But yes, we do have a letter on behalf of the county fire chiefs that says elected officials, the firefighters, and emergency responders of Scott County have been battling radio communications for several decades. Around 10 years ago, the county decided to upgrade emergency service radio system throughout the county. At this time, there were repeater systems installed, and the system was upgraded to a low-band digital. This system did allow several benefits and was a substantial upgrade from previous systems. However, this system was cut short of its full potential. The repeater systems were never linked, therefore, requiring the use of two separate channels. This means that departments on the east side of the county operate off of totally separate channels than the west. This creates a major issue. Sorry, it's hard to read my own stuff here. This creates a major issue and confusion when operating mutual aid somewhere in the middle. The other issue is the current system has several dead spots in the southwestern and northeastern portions of the county. This creates major issues. This creates major issues with operations and accountability. With this all being said, the county fire chiefs recommend the approval of the current low-band system approved by the commissioners. We agree that the county also should establish long-term plans to transition over to the 800 system if any future funds become available. The Scott County Fire Chiefs would strongly encourage the Scott County Emergency Radio System be upgraded to safe standards. These ongoing issues have been discussed with many officials in previous conversations. The Scott County Fire Chiefs Association will continue to advocate for the safety of our firefighters as well as the community we serve. That's it.
So you guys just turned down the 800 system because funding right now? But
Yes.
everybody would like to
It's-
go to it.
In a nutshell, I'll just be honest with you, what that says. I do a lot better at speaking than reading, as you can tell. Basically, it's this. The system we currently have, everybody's aware, is not okay. It's not safe. It needs to be changed. Obviously, there's a debate on both sides of the fence, what system's better. And unfortunately, on both sides of the fence, we're relying on information that's not reality. We can't see it, we can't touch it, we can't feel it. So with that being said, how are we gonna get everybody to come together on the same page and go for a system that works? This system that's proposed by dispatch, by Jeff, that's approved by the council or commissioners, there's no doubt it probably is a better system than what we have, and it does work, and it's probably gonna be good for us for several years to come. However, no one can also argue that the other system may be better as well. So with that being said, we as an organization want to look out for the best interest of the firefighters of the community, and it appears on our end that it's just going to be easier to go ahead and go with this plan, and that'll at least buy us 10, 15 years, and that's about the lifespan of that system anyway. So at that time, maybe we can reevaluate moving forward. In a nutshell, we would rather something happen than nothing at all. There we go.
And are we gonna have to try to get radios for all the departments too? You don't have,
That's a different topic.
that's something
This,
different.
yeah, no, this, what he has proposed is no radios.
Not this system, you don't have to buy any radio.
Okay,
Just depending on the system,
we just have so much information, sometimes it's,
all the current radios will work.
and all the fire departments have what they need for this system.
Every agency in the county,
Okay,
Sheriff's Department, Scottsburg, all the police, EMS, all 6 fire departments have the ability to use this system. Currently.
if it's fixed, if it's upgraded.
They can use it now. It would just make it safer if we did the upgrade.
Okay.
Okay, that being said, do I have a motion to advertise it for the next meeting?
You want more discussion now or after the meeting? I got something to say, but
Well, I do too.
well, I normally try to support what commissioners want, and I certainly try to support my brother firefighters, as I'm sure the chief there knows. And but my gut feeling is I just can't spend $500,000 on an old, outdated system. And I believe, I don't have any facts, figures, or anything to back it up. I do have about 60 or 70 years of watching this state work. But I believe that within 5 years, maybe as little as 3, somebody will be back in front of this council again, asking for money for radios.
I believe that that's gonna happen.
And in light of those comments, I can't support the request. I just can't, I want to, but I can't. I just cannot support it.
Yeah, and the way I feel about it, I mean, I packed 800s over here, excellent radio. And you know, if it saves one life, I feel that it'd be worth the extra money. I don't think we are to just say, okay, this is the best we can get right now for the money and all that, and just to pass it and get it on through there, let's just do this. I just think it's bad business.
I'd spend more for the new radios than
I would too, and the only reason I'm saying this is because I did pack it. I've been in Indianapolis and talked to Scott County. If it saves one life, you know, there's places in Scott County that low band. I don't want to go against anybody, but my honest feeling is the 800s because of safety for everybody in this community. So I can't support it. I can't support it.
Anybody else?
I think that, in response to, with all due respect, I think regardless of what we choose, there's going to be someone coming in here in 3 to 5 years asking for radios no matter what, because that's the way government goes. So that's the way departments go. As far as, well, I said in due respect, so as far as the safety part of it goes, not all of the departments can afford, I truly believe, cannot afford the 800 radios, and so when you talk about safety, that concerns me with if they cannot, if all of their department, if all of their volunteers cannot afford, if they can't afford to outfit all of their volunteers with 800 radios, that's putting our citizens at safety. So, although I see what you're saying, I really think I'm all for supporting this update. I think that will put our citizens' safety in the best interest, and so I make a motion to, what do we have to do? Advertise it? I make a motion to advertise it.
Probably already been advertised.
No, we didn't advertise it for this meeting.
You did the last meeting, but you didn't take action. You didn't take action to table and forward it. You took no action.
That same advertising is not good.
Did you guys go any
You
prices
didn't
on
do, you
800s?
didn't take action on
Like
it.
how many
No.
departments, what it would cost us?
No, we actually didn't price anything at all. And that's, once again, I'm gonna try to stick with the representative of county departments. But that is part of the problem, is there's not been anything. I mean, as far as, I don't know, it's been split down the middle. You know, one side's this, I know Raymond has a plan, I know several other people have a plan, and I've heard a lot of different plans. But I think it rewinds back to what my initial statement was when I was in here the first time, and that is, you know, Jeff had a great plan coming out the gate. You know, there's other things came in, and I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot of different pages, but, you know, I don't know if anybody's all on the same page.
Nick?
Radios for my department, just mine, for me and my 800 for my staff would be $102,000.
For radio?
No, total.
Oh,
my
for the
staff,
total. I'm just like, oh my
102,000.
God. For all, 102 for all of
I
them.
don't want to speak for the fire departments because I don't know their count of individuals. I'm just saying for the people that have radios, my units that have radios, to replace, to get the 25 radios I have now, to replace them plus truck radios, that's what it would be.
I will say that Lindy is right. There is no way possible for anybody, no fire department in this county, and possibly even some police departments, to switch over to an 800 system without assistance from the county. It's impossible. It wouldn't happen. So that is the huge puzzle piece to that other side. You know, and once again, that's why we recommended this other, because it is the financial piece of that side is going to be a tough one to figure out.
But we all still need to come together as a whole, the commissioners, us, the fire departments, the police, and find some way that we can throw money in a pot, or you guys can make a line item and throw so much, and we can try to budget so much to be able to come up with the money to do the 800 system. I mean, we can't just drop this, because on low band, we're gonna have to do maintenance on it. We have to pay for the maintenance. 800 radios, they pay for maintenance. We'll have to come up with a tower, and then,
I think they're gonna put up a tower.
I think that's another thing to consider.
Outlay party, they're gonna,
no, but if we
oh,
don't help them, the tower's going away.
right.
It's going somewhere else.
Right.
They are gonna donate equipment. You guys are still gonna have to pay a lease on the cell tower, which will be anywhere from $1,200 a month up. They're not gonna pay that. That's this county's responsibility. or you're gonna have to spend $500,000 to put towers up, to put that equipment on. And then that maintenance agreement they talk about.
I don't want to prolong the discussion, but the township trustees are responsible for the fire protection in the townships.
And then.
They have a budget,
They have a good budget.
and they have a line item in that budget
What did you
for
say?
fire protection.
They have a good budget.
So
No.
that township trustee.
Yours does.
Ours does.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Township trustees, as far as I know, at least nobody's ever contacted me, and as far as I know, they haven't been active in putting money in their budgets for fire protection. Township trustees are responsible for fire protection in the townships, period. And I'm willing, as a county councilman, to spend whatever it takes to put the system up to what it ought to be, what it is in comparison to our friends and neighbors. Give us a state of the art for our emergency service personnel, and whatever it takes to do that, I'm willing to support.
I agree, Raymond. And the 800 just, I want to ask a question. If you had your choice right now, and you didn't, if money wasn't an object, would you rather have the 800 system or fix what, or upgrade or fix what we got? What would you rather have? Be honest.
We had the 800 system that everybody was on.
But everybody being on it, everybody having the radios, everybody having what they need to be top notch. Instead of putting a Band-Aid on it, rip it open and fix it.
It's gonna cost you double.
Well, but it's gonna cost us probably triple or more if we have to do it again in 5 or 10 years. So let's fix it to begin with. Do you not agree, Raymond? Get the best system we can get.
Now's the time.
Exactly.
Now's the time.
If the 800's what we need, that's what we need to do.
Now's the time.
I agree with Raymond, and I don't want to rush. I don't want to rush because there's going to be a price increase or anything like that, and then something happened to one of our people because they can't get through. I just don't think it's a good idea today, and that's just the way I feel.
If I'm,
You got a motion?
so,
Hold on, we have a.
I keep hearing like the whole department's going to 800s or whole department's staying. Could there be a plan for the leadership of fire chiefs getting 800 so that way if there was communication issues or the leadership in the departments, that way they can still have outside communication with outside counties or whatnot instead of the whole organization?
The problem with that is that there's still split channels if we don't upgrade the low
Yeah.
band, so you're still.
Well, you'd have the low band system and then you would have, they have just for leadership, you carry dual radios per se. So in case something was going down or a communication issue.
But unless you upgrade the low band system now, you still fight the issues we have.
Well, can 800s be dual programs with low band channels and all that?
Mobiles.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
You got a motion on the
But,
table?
I mean,
I,
if they-
Lindy motioned to advertise for next meeting.
It's on the agenda.
but I did want to make a comment on the trustee thing. Yes, your trustee has an amazing budget, Vienna has a good budget, but those other trustees, they do not. I'm a clerk for Vienna Township, and I can tell you that those other counties do not have the budget to sustain. Now, could that change? Possibly, but I can tell you right now that they do not have the budgets to sustain a maintenance program for these radios. And that's just, I mean, it just needs to be put out there if you say that the trustees are responsible for that, but they don't have the budget, right?
What I said was true.
That they're responsible, but if they don't have the money,
So
they
what
get
is
the money from the taxes.
a low band radio? Like they said that 10 years ago, we redid all the radios. What's the number of people that are gonna have to redo those radios now because they only last 10 years? Under the best maintenance, she said, what, 12?
Depends on wear and tear. I mean, if you're rough on a radio, you might have to replace it sooner than, like me, I'm kind of, I hate to say it, anal, but I will clean my charger and my radio on a regular basis. So mine's gonna last longer than somebody like Jim Ritchie who's putting his into the house fire.
Josh?
I mean, it's hard to say.
What you do is gonna be upgrades in 10 years, or what you do, we're gonna change the sheriff.
Actually,
We're gonna change the sheriff in there. The only reason we went back
Because
was
they
the
were-
plan.
I mean, I went out and programmed Finley's radios, and they didn't have a single radio with the antenna over. Or the case was nicked, but you can replace the cases for $25. I mean, it's just wear and tear, it's pills.
Right.
You got it.
I want to apologize to council. I pulled the folder from the last meeting. You did vote on 911 system and reprogramming, $530,576. Lindy made the motion to approve, Raymond seconded, and there was no other vote. It was, with 6 people in attendance, it was 1 to 5. So, or 2 to 4, sorry. And then there was a note in here about having the workshops with townships and cities the following week. So you had a motion and a second, but then the other ones were named. Lindy motion, Raymond second. You weren't in attendance, Donna.
And I would do that again in order to bring it to a
So
I don't
where
have,
we
I
at
don't
right
have a
now,
dog in the
Rachel?
fight when it comes to radios, but I will say, just for communication standpoint, if the tower over here was put in 10 years ago, right? And if I'm, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I was told that the antennas on the top have never been serviced, never been checked, never been touched. And I'm sure over time they corroded and went bad. So if nothing is maintained and fixed throughout the years of looking, then it's just gonna get worse. So if nothing is fixed on 800s or on low band, it's gotta be fixed somewhere. So if you, I mean, again, I don't have a dog in the fight, but if nothing's maintained over the years when it
For
comes
either
to that,
system.
for either system,
So are we paying them a maintenance fee and they're not doing anything? So if they put these new
Oh, I didn't
repeaters
know
up
that.
and then they don't,
We pay a
They don't
maintenance
maintenance?
fee. And they come out and check the repeater sites and they do stuff in dispatch. As far as programming, replacing the battery backups. As far as the tower goes, I don't know. I've never heard that. I'll check into it. But
well, I thought they said that we'd have to pay a maintenance fee on that for as long as we had them. For them to come out and check them and make sure that the strength,
it's currently in my budget, out of the 1222 fund. I pay
so maybe they
maintenance.
just need to come and maintenance those and all of our radios would work magic.
I doubt that, but
And I'm just saying that even if you gotta switch to new stuff, like that's why stuff has went bad over the years, because nothing was checked on that end. I mean, that's why, I mean, I have issues going down on equipment that I have to replace because it wasn't serviced for years, so it's not checked. I'm just saying, you probably have to go to a new system regardless of what you do, but that can't happen over a 10-year period, nothing getting checked over there. And that's not on Jet, that's like the roof issue, the 1880s, and that nobody went up there and watched it, so it's just.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, I just was gonna put some input in. Chief Wayne Williams, Diane, he's a friend of mine. He's attended a lot of the meetings, and he said there ain't no way they would be able to afford the radios if they did go to the 800 system. But to me, if you guys do switch, you know, go with the 800, maybe you're gonna have to, like they said, come up with something so they can get their funding. And also, it concerns me, the chief of Scottsburg, talking about the issues in the dead zones right now. According to Jeff, I understand the new system that he's trying to put in. Is there any issues on the dead zone business in the county, or do you know?
They don't know.
it's not 100% guaranteed, but it will correct a lot of them.
And you know, I have some family that works in fire and rescue, and it concerns me on their safety.
Now, I know that you guys are wanting to switch to the 800, but is that gonna take another 10 years? And the cost? I mean, you said the county needs, what, $300,000 they gotta cut from the budget? I mean, next year, I mean, are we gonna be able to maintain this, or we're gonna have to go another 10 years and lose some lives?
We're gonna have radios no matter what.
And also, to me, that the commissioners approved this, you know, my understanding is some of the meetings I've attended also, the commissioners are supposed to see what's best for the county and approve it. And then you guys fund most of it, correct? Whereas when it comes to analyzing it, checking it, that should be on them, going through what they've already checked out best for the county, and they should be looking out for us. Which, but I mean, you know, this could go on another 10 years before you guys go to the 800, I don't know. But it's just a thought, you know, input on my part, but, you know, hopefully you guys will do what's best, and we can't afford it, and not go bankrupt. Because I mean, in the election, you guys talk about not having enough money to pay the people that was working the elections, so that sort of concerns me, but, you know, whatever it's worth.
They're both great systems, I'll say that. The 800's a great system if you have the towers. And you heard the lady, Kelly Dignan from IPSC, the director, she even said that within 2 years you won't need a tower in your county due to technology. And that technology is currently $6,400 a piece.
The radios?
Yeah.
That wasn't.
Because the only person that can sell that radio is Motorola, because it's a Motorola radio. And that's the radio that the sheriff wants, and it's $6,400. I had them priced for Jim Ritchie and fire departments and EMS, $7,400. I don't know what the difference is per radio. And then $198 per year for the SIM card that goes in that. That makes it so advanced that it will operate off a cell tower or 800 sub. So the cost difference, yes. I'm looking at it from, I've seen this system in action, it works, and the price. It's cheaper, but you're getting quality. That's the way I look at it. And several years ago, I don't think you might have been around. They went, Scott County, Jefferson County, Jackson, Jennings, all came together for county councils to try to work on putting 800 sites up. And it fell through. They had to come to an agreement on which county would share what cost.
But they can never take that system away from us, right? Like they can knock the distance of the repeaters down
Here's the other thing.
on the low band.
The low band, once those repeaters go up, unless the city of Scottsburg or Stark Ford tells us to take the equipment off the towers, they're gonna be there. And there's no charge for that. They're not charging us to put that equipment on there. Okay?
But the low band system's still charging us to maintenance it.
Yeah, you're gonna, even with the state, they're gonna cover the maintenance costs for 10 years. After that 10 years, Scott County's gonna cover that. It's not a lifetime. They will cover it for a set number of years.
When the life is supposed to start to go out, and then we'll have to.
Yeah, after
Like
10 years,
anything else.
when that equipment
Power
starts to
warranty.
degrade, the county's gonna have to pick up that maintenance bill.
So we don't have to advertise, is what you're saying? Or we do?
You voted it down last time.
So we do have to advertise. Okay. Well, I have a motion to advertise, huh?
Let me just,
Okay.
if it had to be advertised again, do I need to get another quote? Because he gave us till today. So we need to start this whole process over. It's gonna be another 30,000 if we do that today.
According to my figures, if you don't do it now, the increase is $29,181.68.
Right. And that's hoping that there's not another price increase coming June or July.
we don't have any other option, correct? Teresa, we have to, we voted it down, or because it was voted down, we have to advertise, correct?
You have to advertise.
So that's our only recourse
Yeah, I
at
mean-
this point, correct?
I would recommend that you advertise it for your next meeting.
We can advertise it. Somebody got a motion on the table.
Lindy motioned to advertise it for next meeting,
Yeah.
so it'll be 580, just to be safe,
Yeah. Or
since it's 5:30.
600, we'll cover it.
Well, you can't advertise 100 and that original amount. It'd have to be,
No, it's at 580,
uh,
because you're adding 30,000 to the 530.
would be $559,757.68 according to my figure. 560,000,
560, yeah.
according to my figures, that's what it would be.
John, did we get another figure on the money, what it would cost to go to the 800s, the difference, what it would cost? Nobody never, does anybody know? Jim, do you know?
It depends on towers.
Yeah, that's.
Well, we're gonna get one tower out at Lake Harvey,
that's
and then we
the
got the one
controversy
at
is-
Henryville, right? We got-
There's already one in Henryville, one in Washington County. There was a proposed at Hardy Lake site, which that's the one that was the 300 and something to match what the state was doing.
So we really don't know the difference of
No,
what it would
and the
be.
reason being is because there's way too many variables. Yes,
Right.
like the gentleman back here saying command staff, that was kind of Raymond's thought process. There's a lot of different ideas that have been thrown out there on all spectrums.
Right.
So yeah, that's why there's no given price of this is what it's gonna cost for this one, or as opposed to the other, or whatever.
That may be something we need to look into. Well, if it's not that much difference, the safety of the people would be,
For two sites, it's 945,000, I think. And you have to have at least two sites. Just putting one out by Hardy Lake is not gonna solve Lexington's issues. It's still gonna be dead out there. So you have to put a site.
so the low band's not dead out there?
There's spots, but. we're gonna
Same
put-
thing with the 800s, Jeff. Same thing.
But I'm talking 944,000 for two 800 sites. That's not counting the towers if you need to put a tower up, or the lease agreements to put them on cell sites. Okay, that's not counting, the county would be responsible for putting a fence up around the building cell tower. Putting the building up to put the equipment in, air conditioning, generators. So you're gonna be over $1 million.
Well, we don't know
So does
that.
additional fencing have to go around? I mean, like, I have,
We don't
I
know
have a
that.
company that leases
If
it.
it doesn't have a fence, you'd have to.
I think most of them do though, don't they?
Well, let's move on to something, that way we,
I mean, I know ours does.
Do I have a second? Lindy motion to advertise for next meeting, 560,000.
You need a second.
Yep.
I'll second it in order to get it to a vote. Well, we don't have a choice, we need to do that. That don't mean we got to approve it. We still got to vote on whether or not to approve the amount. So you can advertise it, and then we'll vote to approve or
But
not
it's costing
approve.
us money to advertise, and it's, if we're
Yeah.
just gonna turn it down, we need to just send it to the commissioners now.
We've already turned it down.
I agree.
We're gonna do it again.
I thought they were supposed to contact the mayors of those
They're not
cities, so
gonna.
they could give us a.
They're not gonna do anything extra. It's
Turn
fine.
down the smaller amount.
All right, all in
We'll turn
favor?
down the larger amount.
Table it till next, or to advertise 560,000 for the low band system for next meeting. Lindy motion, Raymond second. All in favor? 1, 2, 3. Well, shit, we got, oh, shoot.
Now, where are we?
We gotta do something with it.
You can't vote to approve it if you haven't got the advertising done, right? And you can't do anything else.
I quit.
So here you go, kicking it again, right?
It just dies.
We can't die, we've gotta do some kind of
Who'd you
radio
have-
system.
Who'd you have
though.
for it, Rachel?
Huh?
Who all voted for it?
So,
You, Raymond, Lindy?
And
I
Randy.
voted for it.
There's three of them.
So we only got three that voted for it.
Right now.
Oh, okay.
Donnie.
I find it hard to go against the commissioner's wishes, I really do. I've never done that, and I'm not gonna start.
I'll be fourth, let's send it on, we'll vote on it next time, I guess. 4, all opposed? 3. Get it off here.
Moving right along.
Building superintendent, line item creation and transfer.
Do they have that, Teresa?
They do.
Basically, I went to, commissioners on, I had a staff member, retire, quit, but she's ready to move on, she's ready to be at home. I don't blame her. So, was trying to do, something I think they had tried, years ago, and that was to go with a cleaning service. That would come in here Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the evenings. We would actually get more cleaning done because they'll have 3 members cleaning the building. I've already went to, commissioners approved it. I went to the judges, the prosecutors, because of having somebody in the building. I wanted to make sure they were okay with that. And they're gonna do their best to make sure it's the same people in the building. They're gonna all stay together. They're not gonna separate. So basically, before we had a cleaning schedule, Monday through Friday, they would clean certain offices. Basically, an office got cleaned once a week. This time, they're gonna get cleaned 3 times a week instead of once. So I was just kind of give you before I read that part, I was just trying to give you a little kind of the money aspect. Contractual cleaning group company that would come in here is $2,000 a month, which makes it $24,000 a year. We don't have to cover insurance. We don't have to cover certain things. I don't know if you have the custodian salary paper. But Teresa helped me. We went through and figured out how much money each line or each one would save. You know, if somebody come in here that needed to take out the highest of insurance, the county would have to cover up to $70,145, and then we would save $37,471.
So that 25,000 takes care of cleaning supplies too?
No, I still have to cover that no matter what. It's the same. I still get the same
A
amount.
cleaning service doesn't bring their own cleaners?
Mm-mm. I already have it all, so it's not
I'm just thinking if those prices go up and we had a set price with them, then it would be on them instead of us.
kind of it's gonna go up for me too if it goes up for anybody else. I'd still have to cover it regardless.
You have to buy them anyways. correct?
Yeah, I have to buy them anyways.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but I thought if it was covered in that 25,000, then we would be
We just,
really
on the
good.
lowest of the lowest, we would save no matter what, we'd save $18,277. Even if they didn't take out everything, so we don't have to cover their taxes and insurance. So basically, I was doing it to hopefully finish out the year and go from there to see if it's something we stick with. It was more or less saving money. I was trying to help out a little bit maybe. So I was just asking to request a new line item for contractual cleaning, which is 301103. I'm just asking to transfer $16,000 from line item 11601 custodian to 30103 for contractual cleaning.
I'll make a motion to create the line.
Okay, Lindy motion to create line item 30103 contractual cleaning. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ab second, all in favor?
I got a question. Are we actually saving money, or are we just moving numbers around where it appears we're saving money?
No, you'd be saving, I mean, you'd be saving money.
Okay, but you're, if I got it right, which I probably didn't, the employee that we had was doing the cleaning, is that what you're saying? It's not gonna be,
Yeah, she's gone.
she's gone.
She retired.
So we're not paying for an employee and benefit package for all that. And so we're gonna not have that employee anymore, and we're gonna pay a straight contract,
Yes.
which is gonna be substantially less than it would be for the
Yes.
employee.
It's less than the salary of the employee.
The salary for that employee is $32,636 plus benefits.
Okay, thank you. That was it.
Yeah, all the stuff don't come out of it, like your Medicare.
Yeah, benefits, all
and, all, it sounds like it's pretty good.
Okay, all in favor to create the line item? 7-0. Okay, now do I have a motion to transfer 16,000 from 11601 custodian to line item 301, newly created line item 30103 to contractual cleaning? Who?
Now, second,
Diane, second.
save us money.
All in favor?
All right, good.
Okay.
Are you in? You're a yay?
Yeah, I'm, yeah.
Yay.
7-0. Thank you, Josh.
Does anybody on council have questions for John? He needs to leave.
I've got to leave her in a minute.
Yeah, what else we got on here? The
At the
commissioners?
bottom- At the bottom of your agenda, the roof additional is on. If you have any questions about that before he leaves.
I would like to ask John if he could maybe talk with the other commissioners and see if they could speak to the mayors of Austin and Scottsburg. You know, if we're going to be putting money in for this, may or may not, what is their, can we get some money from them? I mean, we're protecting them, our people are protecting them as well. They have funding just as we do as a county. Is it possible for them to help us with this system?
How much is the roof addition?
I mean, I'm just asking.
No, good question.
I mean, anything is better than nothing.
Together. And I'll explain that in just a second.
I heard 350. You'd be around 450.
450.
The grand total.
How much?
We're talking about how much, I advertised 450,000. That includes 200,000 that you all appropriated last year in the rainy day fund. So instead, we have paid no claims out yet to royalty for their portion that you appropriated in rainy day last year. So I advertised, the commissioners asked me to advertise in ARP, out of ARP money, the 200,000 for the original quote and a highball amount of 250 for the repairs that they found up in the top of in the roof. So 450 total is what has been advertised for roof repair. So you will not expend, if you approve that, you will not expend any money that you appropriated last year in rainy day.
Did they already vote to send that back to us to put back in rainy day?
It's not putting it back, it's not expending it from. So I would have done an encumbrance to pull it forward and pay the claim from there. So this will just leave that money alone and pay it from ARP funds if you
Move
approve
to
it.
approve.
Lindy, second. All right, everybody know what we're voting on? Raymond motion to approve the 450,000 be taken out of ARP to cover the whole roof project. So it'll be 200,000 quote to do the roof, and then a high estimate of 250,000 to do the repairs.
And if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer any of the roof stuff. I do want to apologize for bringing the roof project to everyone, because I feel like it was one of those, it had to be done, and it's made me sick to my stomach that it's come to this, but it's kind of one of those, I'm kind of glad we did, because we could be in a world of hurt if something did happen.
Do not feel bad, you're to be commended, thank you.
Don't apologize.
If the roof would've fell in and killed somebody, we'd have been in trouble.
So thank you.
Okay, so all in favor? 7-0. All right, what else do we need John on?
I think that's,
What's the Scott County Board of Commissioners?
that is for the Board of Commissioners, is the additional appropriation needed to purchase the vehicle for EMS, the transfer between highway and EMS. And I'll let
Well,
You
the
did.
initial quote was from February and we didn't vote on it from April.
Oh, and it went up. So we have to redo it.
We initially had a 2021 secured, but since we couldn't sign paperwork on it, it sold and now it's
Okay.
2022.
Because I thought we already passed that.
We did for a vehicle they didn't have.
Okay.
So it's 5,500,
55.
5585? Did you add the tags on there?
Tags transfer from the
Yeah.
vehicle already out.
Okay. So we're doing a 5,500?
5,500, and that's from the rental fund.
The municipal plates will transfer from, I didn't give you yours back.
I make a motion to approve.
Will be motioned, I'll second. All in favor?
This is gonna end the discussion on vehicles, is that right?
All opposed?
Fingers crossed.
6-1, Eric.
You got what you wanted to get. You got what you want.
All right. The lit special purpose, is that from commissioners, or is that?
Lit special purpose, that's 25,000 for the HIV expenditures.
Okay. So that's just our next allotment of 25? Did you guys get any other expenditures from them?
At this point, no, and I put a fund history in your packet. Combined ledger. As of yesterday, the first 25,000, again, I have to advertise, so it takes a couple of weeks to do that. Right now, there's $10,016.72 left in the appropriation from March.
So we're holding pretty decent.
Yeah, but I just want to bring to your attention, if you look at some of the claims, especially in April, they're over $3,000 each, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, so.
Say that again, Teresa.
There are, out of the $25,000 that you appropriated in March, expended has been $14,983.28, leaving $10,016.72. And you had 4 claims in April, each over $3,000, almost 4. And you've got that, Raymond, and you've got that in your packet. So if you want to, it has been advertised, if you want to table it for the next meeting, I won't have to do that again, but,
We just need to put another 25,000 in.
Yeah.
you do.
You motion it? Eric motions to add 25,000 from the lit special purpose. Second?
Second.
Diane, second. All in favor? 7-0. I'm gonna go with that. What else can we get you to go along with? Which one do you want next? Scott County Extension?
I just want to let you guys know, I don't know if you knew this, but Marilyn Sink, she was our health and human science educator. She got another job, so I'm going to be the county extension director. And then that position has been posted, so hopefully tell your friends. There's information on our Facebook and on our website. And then these are just like updates that Tom and I normally do. We usually put them in your box. But I just thought since that's coming, I'd give them to you in person. So that's all I needed.
Can you send this to me digitally?
Yeah.
So I can post it and
Yeah.
put it around.
That's quick.
Okay, cool.
Have you got my email address?
I think we have it down in the office.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you don't.
If not, I'll get it from you.
Did you need any corrections?
Is that good? Just remember that I came one time and didn't. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Megan?
All right, community corrections, salary ordinance amendment.
Who you want to chat?
That way I can see everybody. We had an advisory board meeting on May the 4th, with my advisory board. In April of 2021, when Brian was director, he had taken Melissa Thompson-Smith from admin and put her in as a case manager, but never gave her the pay that a case manager receives. She is being paid out of the line item that gets that amount of money, but only getting admin pay. So I am coming for the first one to, I have 3 different things we have to discuss, but the first one is to get her pay that she is supposed to be getting as a case manager instead of an admin. And there's already money allotted in the budget for that line item. She's just not getting the pay that she is supposed to be paid for that.
That come out of the grant or user fees?
It's all grant.
It's all grant.
So her amount that she is being paid right now is $32,468.80, and she's actually getting paid out of a line item that should be being paid $38,064.
So do they just need to specify her on the salary ordinance as whichever one they want her to be at? Or do we need to rename it? Is that what, it's not
Well,
case manager on there?
It's called the home detention county officer or case manager, because they're both considered to be the same thing, basically, in our office now. Case manager officer takes care of the clients that are currently on home detention, supervising them, and seeing them on a weekly basis.
So you're just putting the salary because the position she's in, right?
Yes, she was named case manager in April, but only getting admin pay.
So Brian had never,
Brian had never came over and seen you guys to get it to the pay that she was supposed to be receiving. But she was doing the work of a case manager, not an administrative assistant anymore.
Out of a grant that is no cost to the county.
right.
Right, and the money is already allotted for that line item, the amount that it's supposed to be. So it's not, I'm not asking for any additional or anything like that, it's just.
That's going to be paid what she's supposed to be paid.
Yeah.
Right.
So we need to make another case manager?
No, it's already,
It's already
she
in-
just filled
it's
the
already in
position.
grant.
So we just need to switch it to 38,000?
Yes, we need to move her from.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Add motion to move the case manager salary to $38,064.
Yes, ma'am.
Do I have a second?
I'll say.
Diane, second.
You said Melissa.
Melissa Smith.
All in favor? 7-0.
I know this is after the fact, and we've already approved it, so it's okay. Some of this stuff, we probably ought to do it budget time. It's okay. Just a side issue.
We'll have to
Did you say you had something
reinstitute
else?
that rule. We have to reinstitute
Do you have
that
something
rule.
else?
and kind of
Yes, I
let
have
that
2 other
go
things.
by side.
Go ahead.
Really when
They can chatter.
So we were approved, when Brian came over and done budgets last year, we did not know that we were getting a new position in the grant. So we also received a whole new position of a case manager in the grant. And our advisory board passed that I was able to go ahead and ask you guys to create the position and hire for that position. If we do not hire for that position, I will have to give the money back to the state and probably will not get it again next year. But we were allotted that. I'm coming to you guys so late because we are just now starting to have advisory board meetings since I've been interim director in February. And this was all discussed at our first advisory board meeting for the quarter. They had no idea that we were even given the money for the new position. So I let them know that we had this new position and I needed to hire for it, or I was gonna have to send the money back to the state.
So this grant position, is this what happens if you don't get the grant? Or?
I will still continue to get it as long as that position is covered and being utilized. But if I don't use it before the end of the year, they more than likely will take it away from me.
So my
But that
question
person's gonna know that if the grant goes away, then they go.
Right, yes. But my user fee fund actually probably, more than likely, at this point right now I stand, I would be able to cover that as well in my user fees.
Well, it's not gonna cost the county anything, if you've already got it in your grant. I moved it, we
All right, so Diane motions,
motion, moved, whatever.
add a new case manager position.
This will be case number manager 2.
This would be actually number 3, because I already have one, and then the other one is actually called a home detention officer, but it's used as a case manager position. They both get paid the exact same amount.
So this one, number
It'd be
3,
number
case
3,
manager
yeah.
number 3. Okay. Diane approved to add to the salary ordinance.
and all benefits and everything are covered through?
Yeah.
Covered under your grant.
It's an asset for the community, it don't cost us anything, so.
Grant. Do I have a second?
Did somebody second?
Linda. Andy, second. All in favor? 7-0.
And,
Now, do we need to set that salary while she's here, or will it just fall under case manager?
It's case manager, you're adding the third one.
And Tammy and I also
We're
are
adding
working
on
on
salary
new job descriptions for the case manager, because this one is for day reporting case manager, so they're kind of different, but they do the same thing. So I will be updating those actual job descriptions for them, of what they actually do.
Okay, next.
The third thing, I'll speak. The board was in agreement that in February, she took over as director. She don't make directors pay, and what it would be, it'd be a $2,000 increase in pay. That's covered by the DOC grant, nothing to the taxpayers. When Brian was here, he took a little bit less, and they give her a little bit more for being the assistant director. So since he's gone, the board would like to see her to go to the 51,000.
I actually have the differences from, so when, I'm pretty sure it was, I know Donnie was here and Ab was here when I became assistant director and Brian became interim director. What they did was they took like $3,000 away from the director and gave it to the deputy director, just because I had more job duties than what I was supposed to be doing due to his health issues. So at that time, or at this time, if Dave Gibson was still here as director, or we would have had a director, he would have been making about $51,000. Is that right, Teresa? Something like that.
Yeah.
And currently, the director position is $47,590. So it's a $3,000 position, or $3,000 difference. But the deputy director is no longer, we no longer have a deputy director. I have a position that's open still in my grant, just in case they don't name me director, then I have a position to fall back to in the grant. So I have that position open. That position needs to technically go back to $40,144, and currently it's at $44,512. So that would be where I would get the money to put back in the director position.
Yeah.
So all the money is line item. I would just have to transfer it with the auditor's office and the state.
And again, it's all through grants and user fees.
Yeah.
So do we need to wait till commissioners make sure the job descriptions sound good to them before we set these new
No,
numbers
they're
to
all the
these?
same, I just need to, they need to be named what they're.
I don't think the duties are changing.
No, the duties don't change, it's just, like, Melissa is like my reentry case manager, Missy is my day reporting case manager, and then I have the new case manager that falls just as a case manager, so. Like, there's no, like, they're the same job duties, but what they actually deal with in the office is different. Like, what type of clients they deal with in the office are different, depending upon how they are sentenced in the courts.
So do I have a motion to move director position to 51,000 and the deputy director position to 40? You said back to 40.
It was 40,144.
144.
Which that's vacant right now, right? It will
So
be.
what are you, on the supervisor, you're not making any changes on that?
Yes, that one is the one that is currently 44,512.
Yeah, okay.
So it would go back to what it was prior to having a deputy, which would have been 40,144.
And that's if it's ever filled. The board feels right now, they don't want an assistant director in there right now until all this is taken care of. So it's actually a savings at about $1,000, $1,500.
It actually will be saving us about $1,500.
She's done the grants, got the grants sent in. She does everything a director. I was over there for years and years, and she's done everything that the other director did and more. The user fees are up. She's done everything she needs to do with the DOC. She's in good standing with them because of the good work that she's doing. And the board just recommends that she gets this raise.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
And this is all coming out of their grant money.
Grant,
It's
no,
not coming,
no
it's
tax
all
dollars.
grant money, no tax dollars.
no Scott County tax dollars.
All in favor? 7-0.
Sometimes I feel like we're in a shell game, you know? Maybe necessary, maybe, I don't mean that.
They, something else the board recommend. Raymond. The board also recommend that in February, when she took the position over, since they made her director at that time, that they should go back and pay her from the time she started being their director.
It should already be in the budget
Is that?
from that other position.
Money
Because we
should
weren't
already-
paying a
money
director
should already
then.
be there, so yeah.
So, you know, we're saying that we're gonna back up and give her what she had coming, is that what we're saying?
Retro.
She should be paid from that position. That's what
Okay.
we've done in the
So,
past.
can that be in, does that have to be in a motion, or is it just the way it is?
Yes, you have to, you
Have to
will make
motion
a
out?
motion.
Motion to,
Retroact back to.
so February,
February.
2nd, 2022.
February 2nd, 2022. Back pay.
I don't know, we already set a precedent to do that. Did we
So
do
is
that
it,
to everybody?
so is it
We have.
47?
Yeah.
I like that idea.
We have, and actually,
Was her spot making 47?
actually,
So it'll be 3,000,
you all wouldn't hear, but when Dan McLean left,
it'll be what? Sorry.
47,590.
back up with.
47,
What
590.
was the boy who was acting
40.
sheriff for? Sean Mayer.
I'll have to
They
get
did,
the
yeah. So,
exact
and it's happened 2 or 3 times.
But we did it for community corrections last time whenever we split them and they were both
Oh,
doing the
did we?
job duties.
Okay.
And then we back paid and
All right. I'll make that motion.
Donnie. Motion to back pay from February 2nd, 2022. Her pay at that time, 47,590, 40. right?
Yes.
And the difference from 51,000.
Yep.
Till today. And ongoing. Do I have a second?
Wendy?
So what does it amount to dollar-wise?
What, 6,000? 5 or 6,000?
Well, I just, I'm gonna go for it, but I mean,
3,000 something?
this,
3,409.
I kinda think outside the box, I guess, a lot.
3,409.
Say, for example, somebody takes a position, they're an interim, whatever position, anywhere, they take an interim position, and then when the time comes for somebody to get hired, they don't get hired for that position. So do we give them back pay for the time that they were in the interim position, even if they didn't?
I think you just give them the pay while they're doing the job.
Just while they're doing the job.
Then it stops.
So why don't we just pay them the day that they take it, instead of waiting?
We could, but it just never come to the board.
I don't get that. So, anyway.
I thought they were still co-directors over there, so I thought we were good.
And we have to get with the Community Correction Board, and they have to agree, and we just only had, yeah. Anyway,
That's it all right there.
So Donnie motion, Lindy second. Everybody know what we're doing? The difference of 3,409.60. All in favor? 7-0. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go back. That 3,409.60 is the difference between what she's at now and the 51,000. I'll have to calculate pay backward. So that's the total amount of the difference in salary. So I'll bring the total amount of the retro pay to you at the next meeting.
Okay, drainage maintenance fund, additional appropriation.
That is the Drainage Board user fee fund that collects a fee from Redmond Ditch, and they are needing some appropriation, about $5,000 out of $29,763 as the cash balance. They're having some work done, and I think they need to pay HWC for some work they're having on a brick or on a ditch somewhere. And I'm sorry, I can't go into that detail because Tammy is the Drainage Board secretary, and I don't have a lot of information.
We have to
in the
work on a
packet.
ditch.
Professional services.
Well, drainage, it's for drainage.
The drainage, okay.
All right, so do I have a motion to appropriate $5,000 from the $29,763
I'll make
to
that motion.
professional services? Motion?
So it's basically their money already.
It is their money, it's a separate fund.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Diane, second. All in favor? 7-0. Alrighty, ma'am, anything else?
are we at the end of the meeting? Are we done? I've just got a question.
Consideration, well, did she send minutes? Did you send minutes? I didn't get
No,
minutes.
I thought we were going to have those, but
Making sure.
yeah.
Nick?
Can I hand you this? I don't have anything to say, but I don't feel like the money people should know where I'm at with money, so I'm just gonna hand you where we're at.
Sounds great.
This is from Chief, by the way, if you wanted you to have it. I don't have anything to say, but I don't feel like you should know what's going on either.
How are you doing on your paramedic program? I think you were at 11.
We're still at 11. I've got 3 more applications out there. I haven't got.
That's really good.
We are moving forward with it with 11 though.
So are you guys where you need to be with trucks and chase vehicles and
We will be.
radios? How are you guys with,
I need a couple, but I'm making do. Just because when I took over, there was an unknown amount of radios. I've got 10 of the new ones, but I've got about 15 of the old ones, and out of those 15, about 7 of them work. So, but we're making do. It's nothing pressing that I need at this moment, but vehicles are, we sold the big truck. Went back to redevelopment. They're supposed to be advertising the redevelopment thing, and I'll find out at the end of this month if they're gonna appropriate that back. If that does, that's gonna alleviate a lot of the cost to me for this vehicle move that I'm financially like responsible for, the lighting and stuff. That'll help a lot if they allow me to use that money to light these vehicles, just because the lights that were on the other vehicles won't work on these. But other than that, okay.
dang it.
Yeah.
How about, the big bill from, is it Stryker?
Hopefully that comes out of redevelopment as well. That way the first year's covered, it's $153,394.15, I believe.
What was it, sorry?
$153,394.15.
Sounds right.
So I've asked for that from redevelopment. I've asked for the lighting from redevelopment. I've asked for the graphics from redevelopment. And then a couple pieces of equipment from redevelopment that were initially like scheduled in the budget, like for vents and stuff, but where we had to cut our budget, we chose to axe that line, just because it was an expendable line, so I am asking for that as well. But hopefully if they reappropriate that back, that should take care of Stryker for this year and all the costs that goes, because unfortunately, while I'm getting rid of 2 of my new trucks, I am responsible for a lot of money on the lighting end for their department and mine, so hopefully, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not asking for anything here. I just wanted you guys to know where we're at financially. Paramedic program, we've got 11, and we have decided to proceed with the 11. So we're not saying we won't have more. We still have 2.5, 27, so 2.5 weeks of advertisement left, or 2 weeks advertisement left. So, and I know I've got a couple more applications out there that just haven't turned back in, but even with 11, that's what we're gonna do. See what happens. We've got to do it, so.
As long as we keep our accreditation.
That's my thing is, we'll still make money, percentage-wise basis, it'll still be the same from, if we had 25 to work 11 students, the percentage will be the same, because we've reached that break-even point, it just won't be the same dollar amount, but we don't have the same full 66,000 of expenditure either, so percentage difference will be the same, so it's worth keeping that accreditation right now, because I don't want to go through that whole process again.
Any other questions?
Baby dogs.
Yeah, I was gonna,
Installation starts the 16th. Mr. Brody came out, we had to move the location from the initial design location that they had previously, just because of the backside of that wall, there was a main breaker panel. So, we relocated it to the training room. He's supposed to come out and start the 16th, cut the hole in, fix it in, and they'll get as far as they can. The 17th, they're supposed to come finish fixing it in and dress it up. 18th, they'll do the finishing on the inside and the outside. And at some point in that time frame, Bryson Scott, I believe is the name, has donated his time and concrete for the new landing pad for the baby box as well. So he's going to come in that between the 16th and 20th there, that time frame as well. After that's in, then they have to just come down and make sure the alarming and mechanics of it work and we'll be good to go.
We're looking at maybe around the 1st of June, the ballpark figure.
By the end of May, the box will be in and affixed and ready for that. It's just going to be on when they can send someone down from them, so I'm kind of on their schedule once that happens. Hopefully by the beginning, mid of June, and then once that happens, I'd like to do like a little open house with it, so.
And also next week is EMS week.
Yes, starts 50.
So attaboy to our EMS section. You guys got anything planned or?
Our medical director has talked to me about giving us a lunch one day. He's going to buy lunch for my entire.
Well, his predecessor used to do that.
Yes, sir, Dr. Crosby.
Remind him of that.
Dr. Crosby Dr. Crosdale used to come cook for us, steaks and potatoes, so it was a good deal.
When is this?
15th
It's
to
a
the
whole week.
22nd.
Well, I know, but I'm just trying to write it.
15th through the 22nd. Any question on the financial aspect of things, I didn't have anything to say, I just didn't want you to be left out in the dark.
Can you write that down? You have nothing
It's fine.
How many
Not asking for
people,
anything.
how many people, like if you had for this, how many people are in the department?
How many employees do I have?
Like for lunch or something like that?
I have 29 total employees, 10 people are there every day.
Diane, not,
10 every day, 29 total?
Diane, not
Yep.
cook for them. Do appreciate what you guys do. I really do. Run by my house at least 5 times a day. I know that. So, I mean,
There, my
I know
house
you're busy.
this
I know
morning.
you're busy.
Okay. Anybody else have any business?
Move to adjourn.
Raymond,
I second
Lindy,
that.
second.
Oh, Wendy.
All in favor?
Aye.